Hello chess friends and welcome to Jozarov's chess channel and welcome to a very special event that has been played now recently on chess.com. It was the chess.com Bullet Chess Championship in 2021. This tournament was really incredible. I couldn't follow all of the games. I followed some. The tournament was really dynamic with great tactics, with great counterplays, with also some great surprises, with missed opportunities, with some great blunders, but that's simply how it works in bullet chess. And in the semifinals we had already the match of the year when it comes to bullet chess. I think it was the match game between Hikaru Nakamura and Alireza Firouzja. It was so wild, it was so incredible. First, Hikaru Nakamura took the lead with comfortably 6-3 against Alireza, but then Alireza got back into the game more and more, and he won some games. And in the end, Alireza had a lead, 9-8 points. And then Hikaru Nakamura had the opportunity in the last game to equalize the result, but then he missed a simple tactic. Alireza Firouzja left the piece hanging, and Hikaru didn't take the piece, lost it eventually, and Alireza Firouzja moved up to the finals, where he met another really great bullet and hyper bullet player. It's of course Andrew Tang. Andrew Tang is really the fastest player on the world. Sometimes I watch his streams. It's really wild what he's doing. He's playing 15 seconds chess games. Sometimes they're really wild. So although sometimes in this bullet and hyper bullet chess you see great blunders and similar ideas, but still the better player I think is still winning. Sometimes of course the opponent can make a huge blunder, but still, as I said, the better player still winning, because these sharp players see their tactics. They can also use their common strategies, their common opening preparations in particular line. So still I think this hyper bullet in bullet chess is something that we should evaluate. It's maybe not the most accurate chess, but still you see now in this particular game that I wanted to show you today between Andrew Tang and Alireza Firouzja how accurate sometimes these players can play even in this fast time format. So let's check out now one game, then I'm going to reveal the result of the super final. Here it's a great game played by Andrew Tang and Alireza Firouzja, in which Andrew Tang played with the white pieces and opened with the move d4. Alireza responds with the move knight to f6. We have c4, e6, knight to c3, and now after move bishop to b4 we have the Nimzo-Indian on the board, and now after the move queen to c2 we have the classical variation of the Nimzo-Indian. The main goal about this idea of the move queen to c2 is to have the further support of the move e4. So basically the Nimzo is a battle for the e4 square. So you see the bishop is indirectly attacking the e4 square because we created the spin by the bishop on the knight, so we're controlling the e4. And the next move is of course b6, which is a further battle for the e4 square. So in the game e4 played by Andrew Tang, and now c5 by Alireza Firouzja. After the move d5 and queen to e7, it seems though that maybe e5 is an opportunity to lock simply here the position, but actually it's a mistake because you get e takes d5, and you see you cannot take out the knight because of the spin on the e file. So it's a lost game immediately for white. So you have to be careful. After move queen to e7 in the game, knight to e2 played by Andrew Tang, and we have now e takes d5. Now e takes d5, and we have now similar structure like in the Benoni defense, because now d6 will happen, the bishop gets out, and similar ideas. So it's similar to the Benoni, but it's not the same. Of course, in the Benoni defense we have this move g6 and bishop to g7. And in my opinion, although sometimes in the Benoni the Dashko bishop can be a great piece, but this is much better I think for black to have this bishop on b4 here, because the spin is very annoying. This move knight to e2 blocked a little bit the further development of the bishop on f1. So still of course white can also use this diagonal in order to create a dangerous spin. But I simply like more this Nimzo ideas than the Benoni ideas. In my opinion, the Nimzo is healthier, is a much healthier opening than the Benoni. After the move d5, okay, white has now the space advantage, but now Alireza simply castles. You see now white will need many tempi in order to secure the king. In the game, f3 was played, covering simply the potential e4 outpost by the knight. We have d6, building now this normal Benoni structure, d6, c5, and now bishop to d2, played by Andrew Tang, knight to d7, and now queenside castling. So Andrew Tang is of course also a sharp player. He castled now queenside. This is now on opposite side of that game, so the kings are on opposite sides. So now the game becomes really wild and tactical, because who is faster on that side where he's attacking will probably win win the game. And this game is actually really cool because you see now the strategy of a simple threat in chess. What I mean about the strategy of a simple threat is sometimes that we in chess sometimes complicate too much. Sometimes a simple threat, maybe attacking the queen, is great, then your opponent has to move something. Maybe you attack the knight, then again your opponent has to react. So the simple threat idea is simply to force your opponent to react, not to act. So that's why I liked really this game. I choose this one to show you from the super final. After the move rook to e8, we have now knight to g3. So you see now Andrew Tang is trying to regroup, trying to get his pieces on better squares. We have queen to d8, a necessary move because you could have some trouble on the e file. So getting out of the mess is perfectly fine here. Bishop to d3 and now knight to e5, a common Benoni structure move. As I said, it's not a Benoni, but this knight to e5 comes very good into the game, because if you try f4, then still knight to g4 could happen with some fork ideas on f2. So that's why kicking away the knight is not such a powerful idea in the game. Rook to e1, and here Andrew Tang finished his development. You see he had in the beginning some trouble to develop. Now he found great ways how to develop his minor pieces, how to activate his rooks, how to really improve the position of any piece, and now he has a good and comfortable setup, I think. In the game, a6 played by Alireza Firuja. So as I said, it's an opposite side attack game. We're trying now to play the move b5 and break through here. In the game now, bishop to g5, and it was really the first mistake by Andrew Tang. The problem about this move, bishop to g5, is that you have left the defense here of the knight to c3. Here you're vulnerable still to some pinning ideas. So in the game, Alireza used this moment immediately. He kicked away the bishop with the move h6. We have bishop to f4. What probably Andrew Tang was hoping for, that Alireza weakens the pawn structure further with the move g5, and then maybe he retreats again. But that wasn't really Alireza's idea. He tried now the best way. It was really the best suggested way, even by the engine. Knight takes d3. After queen to d3, we see now rook to e1, rook to e1, and now you see the knight is still pinned. We have a powerful attack here against the knight, and what we want now to do is simply break the position with the move b5. Even if you have to sacrifice some pawns in this opposite side attack games, I mentioned it before, it's all about activity. It's all about opening files, opening diagonals for your pieces, for your rooks. So it's very important now to be faster. In my opinion, black is here slightly faster because with the move knight to g3, Andrew Tang cannot play the natural way here, cannot play the move g4, h4, g5, h5 in order to also create some attacking opportunities on the king side. So in the game, after move b5 immediately by Alireza Firuja, we have now a3. Here Alireza stays on this diagonal with bishop to a5, and now knight to e4. We have bishop to f5, and now you see now the great strategy of the simple threat. So here rook to e3 played by Andrew Tang. He tries to have his pieces compact, but actually it wasn't the best of moves here. A simplification idea is much better. Knight to f6, after queen to f6, still you have to retreat somewhere with the queen, but at least you have solved a little bit the position. In the game, after the move rook to e3, here Alireza plays now really on this simple threat idea. b4, we have a takes b4, so c takes b4, again forcing black to do white to do something, pardon me. So after move knight to e2, again a simple threat. Bishop to b6. Look now how Alireza attacks this position. Bishop to b6, knight to d4. Of course, you have to cover the rook. Now again, bishop to g6. Staying on this diagonal is very important, although there are maybe better lines when it comes to computer evaluations, but it's not the point about that. I think Alireza found here really great ways how to proceed in the game. Andrew Tang tried to escape now from this nasty pins. He tries now rook to e2, and again knight to e4. We have f takes e4, and now queen to f6. Again a simple threat, again a double attack here against the bishop, but also pardon me, against the knight here on d4. So that's why again you see white has to react. Again rook to e8, the new piece comes into the game. Look how Alireza really attacks this position, again with a simple threat to take out this pawn on e4. In the game, bishop to f2 was played, and now comes really the stunner. So pause the video maybe and try to see now the best continuation for black here. It was a really wild tactic, and it was a correct tactic. That's, I think, the most important thing here to say, because after move bishop to f2 to see immediately this kind of stuff is really wild. So Alireza is really an incredible player. Okay, I hope you can see this move, because I'm not sure how many of us would see it in long time format chess. So here, after move bishop to f2, Alireza plays a great deflection. He plays now the move rook takes e4, deflect simply the rook from the defense of the bishop, rook to e4. Now the queen comes into the game. Still, the rook is pinned here. Andrew Tang found a great way how to escape from this idea, but now queen to g1, first the check, queen to e1, trying, of course, to trade off the queens to simplify the position. Now queen to g2 by Alireza, rook to e8. Here Alireza hides, and now knight to e2. We have queen to g5, a new check by Alireza, queen to d2, and now queen to f5. Very important move. We're threatening already some checkmates here, so that's why king to d1, a necessary move. And now queen to f1, the queen has to cover, but again Alireza is trying to stay with the queens on the board. If this game gets too simplified, then of course with up the exchange, white is much better, so you have to keep the queens on the board. Queen to f3, we have queen to g3, and now again a simple threat idea. That's what I really liked about this game. You don't have to complicate things, just threatening simple ideas here. In the game, knight to f4, we have queen to b1, the check, and now Alireza can take another pawn. In the game, king to f1, and here queen to f6 was played, king to g2. The idea of queen to f6 is, of course, to prevent this knight takes g6 idea. In the game, b3 by Alireza, which wasn't maybe again the best of move, but the evaluation is +5 here for black. In the game, knight takes g6 was played, f takes g6, and although in this endgame white is up the exchange, but I think that Alireza found a great way how to secure his king, and now his bishop can play freely, his queen can play freely. This is a very annoying pass pawn, so from this point on it's completely went again here for Alireza. So here rook to b8, attacking the bishop. Alireza plays queen to d4, queen to f3, and now simply pushing the pawn further. We have queen to f1, we have queen to d2, king to h3, queen to c3, and now after king to g4, here h5, simply attacking the king further. The king has to move, and now queen to d4, king to h3, and now queen to g4. It was a checkmate. So incredible game by Alireza Firouzja. Always consider that this is bullet chess, so it's 1 minute on the clock. You don't have time to calculate everything, but it was a brilliant attack by young prodigy. Alireza is really wild, and Alireza won this super final, and he won this very cool event. Congratulations to Alireza. I'm not sure where Alireza's limits are so far in the classical time format. He still has room for improvement, but when it comes to bullet chess, I watched several of his streams. He's really so sharp. He attacks the position so brilliant, and it's, I think, one of the players that you don't like to face in any time format. In my opinion, as I always like to say, Alireza is the future world champion. So, okay, I hope that you enjoyed this game. I really enjoyed it a lot. Congratulations to Alireza again. If you want to maybe watch some other games from the past, you can also check out my best chess games of all time series with some great games really from chess history. Here's the link. And if you want to see maybe the best engine games, computer engine games, check out my commented chess games played by computers. Here's also the link. These games are also really wild. And if you like this content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you soon with some more videos, and chess is the best, of course.